Everyone wants to be unshakable, to stay calm when life falls apart, to keep focus when chaos surrounds you, and to find peace even when the world seems to turn against you. But very few people ever master this art. Most are slaves to their emotions, prisoners of opinions, and victims of circumstance. Marcus Aurelius, the last of the great Stoic emperors, understood this truth over 2,000 years ago. He ruled the most powerful empire on earth, yet he faced betrayal, war, loss, and plague. Despite all of it, he remained calm, disciplined, and wise. His secret wasn't luck. It was philosophy, a set of guiding principles that made him untouchable by anything external. These lessons, written in his private journal Meditations, were never meant for anyone else to read. Yet they reveal the mindset of someone who mastered the hardest of all battles, the battle within himself. Marcus Aurelius lived by 3 core rules that can make anyone untouchable, not in the sense of being above others, but in the sense of being beyond their control. Untouchable doesn't mean you don't feel pain or anger. It means those feelings no longer rule your actions. Untouchable means being so rooted in inner peace that no insult, loss, or chaos can shake your balance. These rules aren't just ancient philosophy. They're practical tools for modern life, tools to build emotional armor, sharpen your focus, and free yourself from the grip of stress and negativity. The first rule Marcus lived by was simple: control what you can and let go of what you cannot. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Most people spend their days trying to control things far beyond their reach: other people's opinions, the outcome of their plans, or the unpredictable turns of fate. They get angry when traffic is slow, anxious when others don't approve, or hopeless when plans fall apart. But Marcus knew that all of that energy is wasted. He said that peace begins the moment you accept that you can't control what happens, only how you respond. That's where freedom lives. Once you stop trying to command the universe, you can finally master yourself. Imagine being caught in a storm. You can't stop the wind or the rain, but you can choose how to face it. You can panic, run, and curse the sky, or you can take shelter, stay calm, and wait for it to pass. The storm doesn't change, but your experience does. That's what Stoicism teaches. Life is the storm. You can't control people, outcomes, or time itself, but you can always control your thoughts, your words, and your actions. That's where your power lies. Once you truly understand this, no one can disturb your peace. Someone insults you? That's their choice. You decide whether to be offended. Plans fall apart? That's life. You decide whether to adapt or suffer. The moment you stop fighting what you can't control, you become unshakable. The second rule Marcus Aurelius lived by was to master his emotions. He knew that anger, fear, and desire were natural, but if left unchecked, they would destroy peace and reason. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your judgment of it." In other words, emotions are born not from events, but from how we interpret them. 2 people can face the same hardship. One collapses, the other grows stronger. The difference lies in perception. Marcus trained himself to pause before reacting. When anger rose, he examined it. When fear appeared, he questioned it. When sadness came, he accepted it, but didn't drown in it. He knew that emotions were signals, not commands. In today's world, this lesson is more powerful than ever. We live surrounded by noise, opinions, and emotional triggers. Every headline, comment, and post seems designed to provoke outrage or fear. The Stoic path offers a way out. Pause, breathe, and see clearly. Between the event and your reaction, there's a small space. And in that space lies your freedom. If you can control that space, you can control your life. When someone criticizes you, remember Marcus's advice. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't be. That's not denial, it's discipline. It's the understanding that no one can truly hurt you unless you let their words live in your mind. When you respond with calm, you disarm chaos. When you keep your peace while others lose theirs, you become untouchable. This emotional mastery doesn't mean suppression. Marcus never said to ignore pain or pretend everything is fine. Instead, he believed in acceptance. Feel what you feel, then rise above it. Don't let emotions drive the ship. Let reason hold the wheel. Even when the emperor faced betrayal from friends or the death of his children, he reminded himself that life is fleeting and that suffering comes from resistance. Pain is real, but misery is optional. The more you practice this discipline of calm observation, the more control you gain. Eventually, anger loses its grip. Fear fades. The world still tests you, but it can no longer break you. That is emotional freedom, the essence of being untouchable. The third rule Marcus followed was to live according to virtue, to do what is right, no matter the cost. He believed that the only thing truly good or bad is the moral choice behind our actions. Everything else, wealth, health, success, reputation, is secondary. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." For Marcus, virtue wasn't about appearance or approval. It was about aligning action with principle. Justice, courage, wisdom, and temperance, these were the pillars of strength. As emperor, he could have lived for pleasure or power, but he chose integrity instead. He treated slaves with respect, forgave enemies, and worked tirelessly for the good of his people. He understood that the measure of a person is not what they own, but how they act when tested. Living by virtue makes you untouchable because it removes the need for validation. When you act according to your values, no criticism can shake you, and no praise can control you. You become guided by an inner compass instead of external approval. Imagine doing the right thing even when no one sees it, choosing honesty when lying would be easier, helping others without expecting anything back. That's the kind of quiet strength Marcus practiced daily. Virtue is not about perfection, it's about effort, discipline, and alignment with truth. And when your life is built on that foundation, you walk through the world with calm certainty. You no longer chase status or recognition, you simply live with purpose, and that makes you untouchable. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life is short and unpredictable. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." That reminder wasn't meant to cause fear, but focus. Knowing that every moment could be your last is not depressing. It's clarifying. It teaches you what truly matters. You stop wasting time on petty arguments, material obsession, or pleasing people who don't care about your growth. You focus on character, contribution, and peace of mind. Every sunrise becomes a gift. Every act of kindness a legacy. When you live like that, you stop fearing loss because you're already living fully. And when death eventually comes, it finds you unafraid because you've already made peace with yourself. Modern life constantly pulls us away from this inner peace. We're told to chase more money, more recognition, more comfort. But the Stoics knew that peace doesn't come from addition. It comes from subtraction. It's not about getting more things, but letting go of attachments. Marcus warned that our thoughts shape our world. If you fill your mind with envy, fear, and anger, your world becomes dark. But if you cultivate gratitude, humility, and acceptance, even a small life feels abundant. He wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. True power is not having control over others, it's having control over your own mind. If you applied these 3 rules every day, control what you can, master your emotions, and live by virtue, your life would transform. You'd stop overreacting to minor problems, stop giving away your energy to people who don't deserve it, and stop chasing approval that doesn't matter. You'd find peace, not by escaping challenges, but by facing them with clarity. You'd become like a mountain, still and solid, while storms pass around you. This is not cold detachment, it's freedom. Freedom from anxiety, comparison, and self-doubt. The kind of peace that no success or failure can take away. To live like Marcus Aurelius is to accept the world as it is and still choose goodness. It's to wake up every morning and say, "Today I will meet selfish people, rude people, and dishonest people, but none of them will harm me because I will not become like them." That mindset makes you immune to negativity. It reminds you that your peace is your responsibility. You don't control the behavior of others, but you control your reaction, your energy, and your integrity. When you hold to that, nothing can touch you. Not insult, not chaos, not misfortune. Marcus also taught compassion. He saw humanity as one family, connected by reason and mortality. Even when people wronged him, he tried to understand rather than hate. When you wake up in the morning, he wrote, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Gratitude was his antidote to despair. Every challenge, he believed, was an opportunity to practice virtue, to grow stronger, wiser, more patient. If someone betrayed him, it was a lesson in forgiveness. If life brought pain, it was a lesson in endurance. Everything that happens, he said, happens for you, not to you. Life is because when you live this way, nothing outside of you can truly harm you. You become untouchable, teacher, not an enemy. Once you see that, suffering becomes growth. In the end, Marcus Aurelius didn't become untouchable because he was emperor. He became untouchable because he mastered himself. He learned that the only true power is self-control, the only true wealth is character, and the only true peace comes from accepting life as it is. When you walk through life with that mindset, you no longer need to prove anything. You stop being reactive. You stop being at the mercy of your emotions or circumstances. You act with purpose, speak with clarity, and think with calm. That is what it means to live like a Stoic. If you ever feel lost, remember his words. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Guard those thoughts. Nourish them with wisdom, not fear. Build habits that strengthen your mind, not distract it. And when the world tests you, as it always will, stand firm. Breathe. Respond. Don't react. Do the right thing, even when no one notices. Because when you live this way, nothing outside of you can truly harm you. You become untouchable,